Hello, my name is Claire and I'm a member of the careers team at Barton, and I'm here to talk to you about one of the options after college, which is a gap year. So what is a gap year? A gap year is a year out of education that gives you the chance to try something new away from college, gains new experiences and skills before you think about what you want to do next. So what might that involve? For a lot of people, it involves travel. Who wouldn't want to go abroad, see different cultures, meet new people, maybe learn a language? So are you going to interrail around Europe, backpack across Asia, or maybe do a ski season? Those are all opportunities you could explore. But it might be that you're going to spend some of your gap year doing some volunteering, gaining that experience related to a career. That's a possibility too. You might also think that you're just going to do some work experience because you want to explore job opportunities or a career and also gain some paid employment that might help you with your future choices. Or maybe something more unique like an internship or a year in industry. Maybe you're going to combine a few of those options together. The most important thing if you're going to do a gap year is that it's meaningful. What you don't want is that it's just a year off and you haven't got anything at the end to show for it. You need to be thinking, what skills are you developing? How is your CV going to look at the end of it? What else has it added for that year out? You also need to think though that gap years aren't for every student. Not everyone can cope with such an unstructured year. And also some courses don't actually want you to have that year out before you go on to university. So things like maths and science often prefer you to continue with your studies straight away. So you're taking your skills through from college and moving straight on to university rather than having that gap and starting on the back foot. So really think carefully about whether it is for you. One of the most important things about a gap year is that you plan really carefully. It's not something that's going to happen without planning. So start thinking about what you want to do early on. Research opportunities and be aware of any deadlines that might be involved in any applications. Speak to staff, speak to family. It is your choice, but equally they might be able to help you think about the steps that you need to do to make it successful and guide you along the way. If you're going travelling, you might need to think about whether there's any particular things that you need to be doing and being aware of. Obviously, there's been coronavirus recently, and that might still have some implications on where you can travel. But also things like the Foreign Office offer advice about where you can travel, and you might want to be looking into that. You might also want to think about whether while you're out of the country, whether you're going to have to do anything in preparation for the following year. Do you need to be in the UK at particular times? Or are you going to be able to use the internet while you're abroad? That's something that you need to be planning in. You might also want to think about how you're going to pay for your gap year. It might be that you need to think now about starting to save or work so that you can actually afford what you want to do. If you're going to be applying for work, you need to make sure that your CV is up to date, that you know when opportunities are going to become available, and be building your employability skills so that you give your best shot at getting those options and opportunities. So the top tips for a gap year are: consider what you want to gain from it. Think about your goals. What is it that is going to happen in that year that is going to make the difference to you moving forward? Talk to your family and college staff and see what they can do to help you. Lots of companies organise gap years and you can research into them and find out what other students have thought by looking online. But be careful, if there's lots of costs involved to those, it's worth checking whether they're a reputable company. Also think about that next step when you're returning. Is there anything that you need to be doing post your gap year, and have you planned that into it? And obviously, if you want to go to university, it might be that you decide to make use of the college services before you go away and make a deferred entry to university. Gap years can be really exciting times, and it's something to consider, but really you need to be planning it to make sure it is as successful as possible.